Hello my friends, welcome to Lean and Clean with Fitness Chef Christine. I am here ready to show you some of my favorite Valentine's desserts, and we're going to start with a tart. It's going to be a chocolate ganache tart. I hope you're going to love it. You're going to need 1 pound of butter softened, 4 cups of flour and 1 cup of powdered sugar, and a good tablespoon or so of vanilla extract. Use that great vanilla extract. Okay, we're gonna come in here with our hands and just break that butter in. Now this is gonna take a few minutes, so we're just gonna make this dough and then we press it into these little tartlet shells. We'll bake them at 350 until they're nice and golden brown. And then, while those are baking, we'll make our ganache and we pour them in and let them set, and then we can decorate them. They are perfect for Valentine's Day. Now we'll have some extra chocolate, so we'll be dipping some chocolate strawberries, and we'll be doing some blueberry bark because I'm all about fresh ingredients mixed with a little chocolate for some love. So we go ahead and we just keep working this dough, working that butter in. It will look like it's not coming together, and then all of a sudden it will. It's crazy. I'm gonna get a bigger bowl, make it easier. We should have started that way. I am the queen of big bowls. I love using a big bowl. It makes life so much easier. We'll just dump it right in there. Then you don't have to worry so much that it's gonna come flying out at you. Mix it. Again, this is 4 cups of flour, 1 cup of powdered sugar, 1 pound of butter, and a tablespoon of vanilla. It's gonna look like it's so dry, it's not coming together. We're gonna take the heel of our hand at this point and just give it a push. You're gonna push and squeeze and push and squeeze. And I promise it will come together. I have been making this for years. Push and squeeze. You can see it's starting to come together now. If you really have a problem putting it together, then what I suggest is putting it in a Ziploc bag and working it in through the Ziploc bag. The moisture that the bag creates will help it come together a little bit easier. And then you can use your forearm, which is a little bit stronger than your fingers for most people. So we are there. This is what we're looking for, a nice moistened dough. So I'm just gonna clean off my hands here a little bit. And we're gonna go ahead and take one of these little tartlet shells. I'm gonna show you how to do this. Put this up here. Actually, I'm gonna move it to the side so it's not in the way. Let me move it over here. And we've got a little bit of dough. I'm gonna put it in the center of the tartlet shell. I'm gonna start on the outside of it. Actually, we're gonna squeeze a little bit of it here. If it makes a little bit of a mess on the counter, it's no big deal. It comes off real easily. We come around the side and we just pull it off. We press it in, we pull off. Press it in, pull it off. Let me clean out my mess here. Okay, and I'm gonna take a little bit more of that dough and do the same thing. I roll it into a little snake, and I come around and I press it in, and then I sweep it off. And we go from the center, and we come around, pressing it all in so that it's seamless, that it's nice and even. And then just to make sure I'm good and it's all over the place, I take a little bit of plastic wrap and I go ahead and I press it on there, and then I just go around, and this is gonna smooth it all out so it looks beautiful once it's baked. And there we go, it's nice and smooth. It's all in there. I'm gonna bake these at 350 until they're golden brown. I'm gonna do maybe 4 or 5 of them. I have a couple people coming for Valentine's, and then I will show you how you fill them. Okay, come on back with me. Right, so our tart shells are in the oven. It's gonna take about 15-20 minutes to bake. And in the meantime, we are going to make our chocolate ganache. Now this is a super easy way to make chocolate ganache. What you're gonna do is you're gonna get your chips. For this one, I'm gonna use some Hershey Special Dark. I like the consistency when it's done, so pour those in. We're gonna add heavy cream just until it just about covers. You can just see it peeking through the chips. Perfect. And we're gonna add, once it's melted, we're gonna add a splash of vanilla and then mix it all together until it's completely smooth. I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the microwave for 1 minute starting, and then we'll take it out and we'll mix it. And then I'm gonna show you an easy appetizer. that goes, let me show you what I did when I took a little break here. This is a caprese salad, but I just made it in a circle. And then I took a little bit of balsamic glaze, which you can buy. I'll show you what that looks like. And just decorated the plate. Because of course we eat with our eyes. So while this is technically fairly healthy, it still looks really pretty. So this is the balsamic glaze. You can find it in most grocery stores in the specialty section. It's wonderful. And you just play around, make it look pretty. That's what we're gonna start out with tomorrow night. In the meantime, I have lots of chocolate here. So once I'm done with the chocolate ganache and filling up those tartlets, the rest of the dough is then gonna become cookies, heart-shaped cookies, and then we're gonna make some blueberry bark and some chocolate dipped strawberries. So hang with me, I'm gonna get all that. Alrighty, let's move on. So I took some of that dough that we made for our tartlets, and I'm rolling it out. We're gonna cut that in the shape of hearts and bake those, and they're wonderful shortbread cookies. And then if we have any leftover chocolate, we will dip them or swirl them for a little extra Valentine's treat. I like to make these a little on the thicker side, so I think that's about good. We'll peel off that top layer. I always roll them in between plastic wrap. It just makes my life easy. Then you can press it down, come under the bottom side and just press up for a lovely cut. And we'll continue doing that. Sometimes you can just wiggle them out. And don't worry if they're not perfect because you're gonna get that chocolate in there. It makes it a little more forgiving. The dough is quite soft, so if you want to refrigerate it, you can. It'll make cleaner cuts. But I find that in the essence of time, I really don't like to do that. I have things to do. And my refrigerator is packed. So we'll just do a couple more of these and then I'll show you what they look like once they've been baked and they have a chance to be decorated. They're really quite cute. All right. So I'm gonna pop those in. I'll save this for another treat. And we'll move on to our chocolate ganache. So we're gonna go ahead and get these in the oven along with our tartlets. And if you find that your tartlets are starting to puff up a little bit, then you're just gonna give them a little poke. Just give them a little poke in the center, let them relax a little. Try not to break the dough, you just wanna deflate it a bit. Now here's our chocolate that we have started working on. Our chocolate chips with our cream. You can see it's real easy to pull together now. We just stir it until it's nice and smooth. And as it cools, it will thicken. I'm gonna add a tiny bit of vanilla to that. You could add other flavorings. Orange extract works wonderful, orange oil. So then we just keep mixing and mixing until it starts to thicken and look nice and glossy. We're looking for that nice glossy look. All right. And we're moving on. I had melted some chocolate in the microwave and then I put it over some boiling water to keep it nice and smooth. Now we have our nice smooth chocolate. In a pan lined with non-stick foil, I have some nice washed and dried blueberries. It's very important that you dry them, that they're super dry. And then we're gonna add our chocolate right over to the top of those. We're gonna make ourselves some chocolate bark. And you don't necessarily have to cover every single blueberry, but it is nice if you do that. This way when you break up the bark, you have some with blueberries and some without. You just want a nice even layer. Not too terribly thick, but not sparse either. So we're just gonna come around here, and this right here will just get covered up. And for this one, I used a 65%, so it's a real dark chocolate, the Guittard chocolate. I'm a lover of dark chocolate. If you don't like dark chocolate, of course, use what you like. But I like it because it doesn't have a lot of sugar. So the sweetness will come from the blueberries. Now we pop these in the freezer. And it doesn't take long for that to harden in the freezer. And now we're gonna do some strawberries because what is Valentine's Day without dipped strawberries? So again, it's very important that you keep them dry because otherwise you're gonna end up with a mushy strawberry. And no one likes mushy strawberries. I have a new pan, so I just gotta take the liner off because I was not prepared. Shame on me. And then we're gonna line this with some parchment paper. commence dipping strawberries. Okay. It's a good thing we're all friends and you're patient with me. All right, so let's go ahead and line this. Makes cleanup a breeze. And we're gonna go ahead and take our strawberries. I will say I did add a teaspoon of butter to the grass-fed butter to the chocolate. It helps keep it a little bit looser, so it's a little easier to dip. And I'll use my spoon to help get that chocolate all coated over it. I'm not gonna make tons of these. I'm only gonna make 3 or 4 of them because we have a lot of other work here, but we're just gonna let that drip off and then we're gonna lay it down and we'll repeat the process. So again, just go around, make sure that you have all of it covered up. I like to keep the stems on because I think it's pretty. And we'll do maybe one more. Come around. We'll leave a little bit of this chocolate for our cookies. Come around. It's hit or miss sometimes when you get these strawberries as to how ripe they are. So I try to pick the ones that are real nice and red. And then we'll let those set and we'll decorate them. I mean, they're pretty just as they are, but it's always nice to have a little pizzazz when it comes to Valentine's Day. So I'm gonna set those aside and let those set up. And then I'll be back with our tartlets. Let's do the last step of this, okay? So the tarts came out of the oven. It's very hot, so I'm going to take it out of the mold here. I'm gonna use my little handy dandy glove. Take it right off of there. And then what you do is you're just going to let the ganache just pour in nicely. A nice little presentation. And it will do itself as spread out because the shell itself is still really warm. And then, typically I would let it cool down a little bit, but because I want to show you how I decorate it, I just put a couple of raspberries in the center. And then I will, once it's set up, I'll dust it with a little powdered sugar, and I may garnish it with one of the chocolate cookies that I'll show you what the cookies came out like. They're really hot, but that's how they came out. And then I'm going to stripe them with a little bit of the chocolate. There you have it. The chocolate ganache tart with the shortbread cookie. That will also have a touch of chocolate to it. And then of course we have our little app, which was the caprese salad, and the blueberry bark, which should be fairly set up by now. See if we can get a little piece of that. There we have it. Oh. It's so good. Between the blueberries and the really dark chocolate, you have a little bit of sweetness with a little bit of tartness. I love it. So I hope I give these a try. Reach out to me if you have any problems with anything, if you have any questions. I wish you all a very happy Valentine's Day. I know sometimes it's bittersweet, but let's make the best of it. Sending you lots of love, and if you like this episode, I would really appreciate if you would leave me a review and join me for the next one. Sending you all love and prayers. Take care.